Hello and welcome to my Linux journey episode number 2. So, almost 2 weeks ago, I posted the first episode of my Linux journey. The video title is Me After a Week of Using Linux. In this episode, I used Linux for 1 week and I started my Linux journey with Debian, which was actually a great call. So if you want to, you can watch the first episode of my Linux journey. But in this video, there is something different that I did. Okay, and trust me, I read every single comment on my videos. Linux community is actually awesome. You guys are suggesting me the distros, the apps, and some of you guys even gave me solutions to my problems that I had in my first episode of Linux journey. So yeah, keep them coming. So after playing around with the Debian for a while, I thought, why not try Arch Linux? Because for most people, it looks like this is the best distro plus the most difficult distro to use. And I wanted to see what it's all about. Okay, I wanted to taste how it feels to use Arch. So I'm on Arch Linux now, and I have done really cool things actually. Okay, so this is actually a real hardware. So you can see I'm using the Arch Linux, and I'm gonna have to go into this more details of the systems, and you can see I'm on rolling release, okay, GNOME 46, the latest one, and this time I'm using the Wayland. I figured out a way to get Wayland working with NVIDIA easily. Okay, as we go through this video, we will talk about the Wayland. And if you have watched my last episode of my Linux journey, you know I love using Wayland because, in my opinion, it's better. Plus, everyone is slowly moving to Wayland. Wayland will be the main thing. Okay, X11 is getting old, and using Wayland with NVIDIA is kind of hard. Okay, especially for new people like me, like noob, absolute noob. But guess what? I use Arch, by the way. Installing Arch was an amazing journey, plus amazing experience, plus painful experience. I installed Arch Linux like 3 or 4 times on my system. First, I installed Arch Linux with KDE, but there are some features that I couldn't find in KDE, even in latest version, so I had to roll back. Plus, I crashed KDE a couple of times, like settings were freezing, so I had to reinstall Arch. I know I could simply install GNOME alongside KDE and then uninstall KDE, but somehow I cannot completely clean install anything on the Linux right now. Uninstalling things on Linux is still kind of weird thing to do, plus it doesn't actually work the way it should work. I'll talk about this as we go through this video. Even after installing Arch with GNOME, I forgot to install the network manager, actually twice in a row. And after that, I couldn't figure out how to connect to internet. I was able to connect to internet using the terminal, but the internet was only working in terminal, and I couldn't install any of the programs or network drivers, or there is this thing called network manager in Linux. Just because of that, I had to install Arch Linux a couple of times. Each time I try to install Arch Linux, I forget to install the network manager and I had to redo everything. And I actually installed Arch using the Arch installer script. Okay, I did it the easy way. There is official easy way to install Arch now. Anyone can install it actually. You just have to type Arch install, and then it will give you kind of a GUI, not completely a GUI, but you have a selection of things that you can just select and then hit next and install. Okay, you can automate the installer. So this is the script. Okay, they even have in their official wiki, okay, Arch install. This will just automate the installation. Okay, this is the easiest way to install Arch Linux for almost everybody. So that's how I installed it. You just simply have to run this command and just, yeah, follow the instructions on screen. Easy peasy. And that's how I did it. Okay. And it's been almost like more than a week again. I'm using Arch Linux, and you can already see here I have many things installed here. Half of the things I don't know what they do, but I have them installed. So when I was trying to install and use Arch Linux, I learned a lot about Linux. To do just one simple thing, there are multiple ways to do for almost everything on system level. Okay, let's say for example, you wanna format a disk. There are multiple types of commands like fdisk. I don't know how many they are, but I was also having a trouble formatting the disk too. And you know, when you go on the internet and look for the tutorials on Linux, they are not detailed and nobody talks about the simplest things. Okay, the simplest way to delete partitions and make the drive completely like free, just quickly, the best possible way is to sudo cfdisk. Okay, you do that. I'm gonna put my password here. This is the simplest way to manage disk on any Linux, in my opinion, at least for me. Okay, you can delete the partitions. Okay, you can empty out the entire disk. When you format the disk or partitions using other methods, it takes forever. But using the cfdisk, it is quick. It works similarly to Windows. Like in Windows, you can do a disk part, and if you need to clean the disk using disk part, it happens within like 1 second. You can clean up the entire disk. But in Linux, there are multiple methods, and every method does disk formatting differently. Some can take up to like 5 to 6 hours. I actually shredded my disk and I thought that this is going to take 1 or 2 minutes, but it goes through 4 passes, and it took me around 5 to 6 hours to format my 500 gigabytes of SSD. And that was a big mistake. Not actually a big mistake. That was also good. It actually completely cleans the disk and you can't even recover any files that you have deleted using other softwares. That is cool, but I just needed a quick format. So cfdisk is the best, okay? And also easy to use. So what happens with the Linux is that almost every Linux, at least for me, what happens is, let's say you installed Ubuntu, you don't like it. Now you want to install, let's say Linux Mint or any other Linux distro on a same drive. If you don't format your disk before installing the new distro that you're trying to install, that won't boot. I don't know why. For some reason, every time I need to switch the distro, or I need to install the new distro on same disk, same computer, I have to format or at least delete all the partitions and clean out the storage, and then I can install it. Otherwise, for some reason, nothing gets installed. So because of that, I actually learned more about disk management tools, and I found out this cfdisk, which is, in my opinion, best for me. Okay. So yeah, that's that. And for the desktop, I went with the GNOME again, because for some reason I just like the way GNOME works. Okay, it is simple. Okay, not too many things happening. It is somewhat also customizable. I don't care about customization that much, okay, as long as it works, plus it looks good and it is simple. I like to keep things simple, plus I like the things that are simple. So I think for now, I don't think I'm gonna switch to anything else. GNOME is perfect, okay. It is stupidly simple, plus I just love it the way it works, okay? No hate towards other desktop environments. I even installed Hyprland window manager actually, okay? But I didn't like it because almost everything you have to do with the keyboard shortcuts and all that, and if you're not into it and you're not feeling it, it takes forever to learn, okay? That's simple. Okay, I have it installed actually. How do I show you that I have the Hyprland installed? Let's see if I can do this. Sudo, oh, can I zoom in? Yeah, you're gonna love this. Okay, sudo pacman q, wait, q, yeah, okay, yeah. I use Arch, by the way. I'm getting used to it. Okay, I should be able to show you guys that I have installed Hyprland here. Okay, here, Hyprland. Yeah, Hyprland. You can see Hyprland lock. I have it installed. Okay, and let me tell you what. For some reason, Hyprland is laggy, and since this is a 4K monitor on my laptop, maybe that could be the reason. But still, it shouldn't be laggy. It's almost unusable. Every time you click something, it opens really slow. Plus, there are animations too. But that's not the reason why it feels slow. And I don't know how to edit the config files of Hyprland. Obviously, I can go and do some search online and find the way to edit the config files. I know that's how you configure the Hyprland, and I need to change the resolution of the monitor within that config file, plus the scaling and everything, and it's a headache. Especially for new users. If this monitor was like 1080p, maybe it could be usable, but it's not usable. Plus, I'm not feeling using any window manager yet. But I can tell you why I installed Hyprland. Okay, so just in case if you guys don't know what Hyprland is, it's a tiling window manager. Okay, it looks cool. You can see the demo here actually at the official website. Okay, you have the top bar. You can also have the bottom bar of wherever you want. Okay, top, bottom, however you want. And you use the keyboard shortcuts to do the things on your switch in between workspaces, launch programs, manage windows. It is really cool. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, it is really cool, but you have to learn how to configure it and all that. You can also use other people's config files too. Okay, it's a cool thing. And why I installed it? Because this thing runs on Wayland. So basically, as you know, NVIDIA graphics card doesn't work well with Wayland. So every time I install NVIDIA graphics card on my system, I don't have option to switch to Wayland. So I was just thinking, if I install this thing and later I can just uninstall it, maybe it will install something that it will activate the Wayland on my system, and I can switch in between the Wayland and the X11. I don't care about X11. Okay, I just want to use Wayland. Okay, so I installed Hyprland, and guess what? I had the Wayland option and I was like, okay, I did something incredible. And there are also other ways to, make NVIDIA graphics card work with Wayland, but I went with this. Okay, and guess what? I actually used this open source project to install Wayland. Okay, this is called Arch Hyprland. It automatically installs the Hyprland plus configures it and also installs a couple of useful programs, I guess. So it comes pre-configured. Okay, it configures the Hyprland. And some of you guys also suggested many cool apps. Okay, I was looking for a system monitoring app similar to Windows Task Manager. So whoever suggested me, thank you very much. This is huge. Okay, this is actually really cool. So this is a app called what is that? Mission Center, and you can see it looks completely like Windows Task Manager, maybe even better. Actually, it is better than the Windows Task Manager. It shows you CPU temperature. Oh, now we need to talk about the CPU temperature. So before I installed Hyprland and got the Wayland working on my system, I had like terrible CPU temperature. Right now it's okay. Okay, it's 70, which is still high, but normally when I'm not recording, plus when I'm not sharing my screen to my main PC, it sits around 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. But it is way better than what I had when I was on X11. Okay, I want to show you guys this. I did some recording before and after using Wayland. Okay, so this one should be after on Wayland. Okay, look at the CPU temperature, 50, 60 degrees Celsius, and look at the CPU usage. CPU is being used at more than 50%, okay? And look at the temperature, 60 degrees Celsius, which is okay. And it is, where I live, is very hot, okay? But now, when I was using X11, ready to be shocked. This was the CPU temperature when I was using X11 before installing Hyprland and getting the Wayland. You can see the CPU temperature is higher even when the CPU isn't being used that much. Now, there are a couple of things that I still couldn't fix. So when I was in Debian, when I click on any program, or actually right click on any program, I had this option, run this program on dedicated graphics card. Something like that option was here. So I could force the program to run on the dedicated GPU. Okay, but that thing is missing here. So now, after using Arch, I finally understand why Linux distros exist and why people love them and why people recommend them. But the problem is Linux, there are how many Linux distros are there? Over 600 active Linux distros. Some of them are probably garbage, maybe also good. So choosing a Linux distro for new people is also, if they don't understand what's up, it's gonna start a whole new conversation. Okay. And I don't want to do this. Okay, let me give you my perspective, just short perspective. I don't want to stretch this too much. Okay, if you want the stability, plus you want a distro that you kind of want to own, or maybe you want to build by yourself, go with the Debian, and it works better than Arch out of the box. Many things will work out of the box. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's easy, even though it's still a kind of do-it-yourself Linux distro, but it works a little bit better. Now you feel like, no, I'm too lazy to learn all that, and I'm too lazy to search and hunt for different things that I need in system. Then maybe you go with the Linux Mint, maybe Ubuntu, maybe something else. Okay, I think Linux Mint is the most popular recommended beginner-friendly Linux distro. So if you like Debian, then find the distro that is based on Debian and is good for you with all the things, like for gaming, maybe Pop OS, something. Okay, there are many choices. But if you like Arch, let's say, because you want the latest and greatest things. So there is a reason why people love Arch, because you get almost everything quickly. All the new softwares, all the new kernels, everything that is happening right now on the Linux, Arch will be the first to get them. Okay, so that's why people love using Arch, and people also love building their own system, and Arch is the best. So throughout this Linux journey, yes, I have been watching Linux videos from other people, tutorials, and their opinions and all that. So yeah, after watching hundreds, maybe thousands, not actually thousands, maybe a couple hundred videos on Linux. If you are expert, some basics about Linux, then it is best for you to build your own system. You just need to know the basic stuff. What I'm trying to say here is that if you're deep into Linux, you'll absolutely love Linux, you're expert, okay? Then there is no way you'll use Linux distro. Okay, there are some exceptions. I'm not going to say that again and again. Even in my last video, I said that. You're going to use something like Arch. I know some really popular people out there use Arch. Some ordinary gamer, he doesn't always talk about Linux, but he uses Linux. Okay, he has some Linux videos. He makes random videos, fun videos. Okay, he cares a lot about his security. He's using the Arch Linux as the base operating system, and there are a lot of things going on in his system. He does really cool things, and I need to talk about some specific thing about Linux maybe some other day, but let's leave it here. So there is another guy really popular, the Chris Titus. He also uses Arch. So his latest video on Linux, you can see he's actually using the Arch Linux. Sometimes he actually switches to different distros too, but he always seems to come back to Arch. When you know Linux enough, you stick with something like Arch or Debian. So I'm in a stage where I feel like I also have to choose a distro now. Okay, I have played enough with the main distros, so now I feel like I have some basic knowledge of Linux, how this thing works and all that, but I still feel like I'm not ready for the main distros and making my own distro, because I also have some other things to do. Because trust me, playing with Linux is like playing a game. Okay, it's addictive. Plus, you have to give some time to it. So to make my Linux journey, a little bit easier and better, I'm gonna have to choose a Linux distro. Now you have to guess which distro am I gonna use. Okay, I already have thought about it. Clearly, I can see, I know which distro I want. If everything goes well, whatever I'm thinking right now, I'm gonna go with that. But if something goes wrong, I may have to try a ton of Linux distros. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the distro hopping. Yeah. But I have one distro that I actually want to use, and I'm hoping that it will just work out. Now, one of the biggest problem that I want to address in Linux, maybe it's not a problem. Again, I'm noob, and I want to say, actually, this is a problem. Okay, hear me out. Okay, so I have some programs installed here. Oh, there are some updates available. Okay, will be updated later. Uninstalling apps in Linux is hard. Plus, I don't know, for some reason, you can't uninstall system apps, at least using GUI. So I wanted to customize the Linux by uninstalling system apps and installing the other alternatives. So as you know, GNOME comes with the system monitor thingy, which is terrible compared to Mission Center. This is like 100, maybe 1,000 times better. Okay, I wanted to replace this with the system monitor. So basically, I want to clean out the system and install my own apps, but it doesn't work. Okay, there is a uninstall prompt, but maybe it's Arch thing, or I don't know, but for some reason I can't uninstall any of the system apps, and I can't see all apps that are installed in my system, at least in this software app. Okay, so you can see I have a bunch of apps in here like these. Okay, when I installed Hyprland, I got these and I want to get rid of them. I can't see them. Plus, I want to clean up some system apps. I can't uninstall them. So I looked for some apps on the internet, but there was no such thing. We need uninstaller for Linux too, which can list all of your installed apps, and then you can manage them. I know we can just simply use the terminal. The true Linux user will just hate me for saying this. GUI is better. Okay, we need these, and look at these GUIs on Linux for system monitoring. Don't you like it? Look at this. This is much better than any other system monitor app, or if you do with the terminal. It gives you more info. It looks nice. So we need app uninstaller for Linux too. Or maybe there is that I don't know. So please help me. If there is a app uninstaller for Linux, please do the comment. Just help me out. Now I just want to do final test. Okay, I want to uninstall the Hyprland. Wow, this list is huge, gigantic. So many things installed in this system. I still need GUI, okay? Someone please make an app uninstaller for Linux. We need that. Maybe it's a bit complicated because, a lot of the things are tied together. I don't know. I'm still new to Linux. I'm hoping that I can uninstall Hyprland. Yes, finally it's working. Let's check on this. Sudo pacman. Apt is better and faster, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's gone. Okay, it's gone. The Hyprland thing is gone, but I need to individually uninstall these too. All the Hyprland related things and other things that I installed with Hyprland. Now it's confirmed that to get Wayland working with NVIDIA graphics card, install Hyprland. If you want to use it, you can keep using it. But if you don't want, then you can uninstall it and you'll still have the Wayland. That's an amazing trick that I got. I think this is something that I did it myself. I'm a big brain guy now. And I think that's it for this episode. Yeah, there will probably going to be other episode number 3, with something else. Maybe in next episode, I'll have even bigger brain. Okay. So yeah, absolutely loving the Linux journey actually. Even after failing multiple times, I'm still using Arch. Yes, I use Arch, by the way. And I successfully fixed almost all the problems too. Now, all I need is a app uninstaller. Okay, please someone help me in the comments. Is there a thing, or at least is there an easy way to uninstall apps? Okay, don't suggest me the software section. Okay, it doesn't work. I know there are different software repositories like Flatpak, Snap, and many other. So I'm using Flatpak, so if there is something that is installed outside of the Flatpak, it won't show up. I know that, but I need software that shows everything. Okay, please don't recommend me this software section and uninstall apps. No, please, no. And everything I did here, I'm proud of it, and it's almost complete and perfect. I just need the app uninstaller plus run app on dedicated GPU. Probably that's gonna be fixed in next episode. And I think that's it for this one. I talk too much, but I'm enjoying my Linux journey. Yeah, I feel like in near future, I can see myself using Linux on my main machine. Okay, I'm not even joking. And the way Microsoft is pushing the Windows and AIs, things are not looking good. I think learning Linux was a great call. I'm enjoying it, plus I feel comfortable somehow. Yeah, probably now I know some basic. That's the reason. Now, I talk too much. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or any suggestions for me, you can always do the comment. And yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself and have fun. Bye-bye.